Hey everybody, welcome back to Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, who are currently in first place of the AFC East with a 7-3 record after the Buffalo Bills lost in overtime to the Minnesota Vikings, and since the Jets are not playing this week, they both have 6-3 records. And we are heading into our bye atop the AFC East. Feels good, feels fairly surreal. It's been a while since we could, you know, be on top of the AFC East, but I'm very excited. And I also saw the Dolphins are 7-3 for the first time since 2001 when they wore jerseys like this. This is a Cameron Wake jersey, not quite from 2001, but seeing as I was 8 years old in 2001, I don't think any of my jerseys from that era would fit. I actually tried my Chad Pennington jersey from 2008 on before this from when I was in high school. That did not fit, but that's mostly because I got fat. So what are you going to do? So, yes, the Dolphins won 39-17 over the Cleveland Browns. Tua had another great game where he threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions on 25 of 32, passing for 285 yards. Another very, very good game. Not dominant, but he didn't make any mistakes. He was on target, and it wasn't even like Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle carried him. I know that's been the narrative of people on Twitter, that he's only really improved because of his stud wide receivers, and while they have been extremely helpful, he really spread the ball around. I mean, Jalen Waddle had 4 receptions for 66 yards. Tyreek Hill had 5 for 44 and a touchdown, but Trent Sherfield had 4 for 63 and an amazing touchdown. Maybe one of Tua's greatest passes in the NFL, and a really, really excellent catch by Sherfield in the back corner of the end zone. On that, Alex Ingold, our fullback, he had 4 for 45 and a touchdown. Mike Gesicki had 2 for 31. Almost had a touchdown, but unfortunately it was not to be. He had it in his hands. He got knocked away. A great defensive play, of course, by the Cleveland Browns. But the Dolphins have really lived up to the expectation of, I would say, what our best case scenario was. I think a lot of us were hopeful that Tua could become the quarterback that he's shown that he is, and that the team could really gel together and deliver a performance like they did today. I will say this is the most complete game that the Dolphins have played all season. They had 3 games this year, like Patriots, Steelers, even the Vikings, where their defense really showed up and showed out, really led the team. And then they've had, of course, a bunch of games where the offense has stood out, but really we hadn't had both units play a great game together at the same time. And it wasn't perfect, obviously. The Dolphins secondary is very banged up, and Bethel also went out of today's game. Hopefully he's going to be all right. But they played solidly. Bradley Chubb had some pressures, had a sack. It really shows what a great addition he's going to be to the team. Of course, they let up Nick Chubb for a long run, but that's going to happen. He's maybe the best running back in the NFL, depending on how you feel, whether him or Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry himself says Nick Chubb is the best, so I guess he is the best. But, they harassed Jacoby Brissett all game. Made it very painful and probably unfun for Jacoby today. So hopefully this ends any discussion too. I know a lot of people were like, Jacoby was better than Tua, certainly last year. No, he's not. He never has been, and he's not going to be. The Cleveland Browns have a very decent offense, and they looked bad today, and Jacoby Brissett himself didn't look great either. So I mentioned Bradley Chubb having a good game today and what, that signing has meant for the Dolphins, but Jeff Wilson Jr., he may be even more important. So both teams today coming into the game, were known for the Browns being a run and first team, the Dolphins being a pass first team. Both teams at the beginning of the game tried to flip that. The Browns came out passing to great effect, and then the Dolphins came out running also to great effect. Jeff Wilson had 17 carries for 119 yards and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert had 8 for 65 and a touchdown. And this two-headed, formerly 49ers, now Miami running backfield is I think, really coming along. And if we can have a solid running game like this, we do have a legit shot in the playoffs. I know the game kind of slows down in colder weather. Obviously, a lot of AFC teams play in colder weather, and to succeed, you're going to need to run the ball. I mean, hey, maybe the Dolphins will somehow get the first seed in the playoffs and they won't have to worry about cold weather, but probably that won't be the case. We're probably going to have to go to Kansas City, Buffalo, even Tennessee. I mean, you saw last year how cold it can be. So having this running game come along now is extremely important for our future success and our potential. I mean, knock on wood, Super Bowl push. Again, as I said at the beginning of the show, the Dolphins now are in first place of the AFC East. They control their own destiny from here on out, right? They have the Jets again and they have the Bills again. They need to beat both of them to remain in first place and win the division and get hopefully a high playoff seed. This is where you want to be, right? 7-3. I as someone who watched the Dolphins only since like 2002 ish, this is not something I'm very used to. No, I'm not used to it at all, as the stat said at the beginning. It's the first time since 2001. So it's been a great season. To have 7 wins in only 10 games is amazing. And yeah, it's like, what could the Dolphins record have been had Tua not gotten injured? But I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to dwell on it because the Dolphins, everything is in their own control. It's in their hands. So hopefully they'll be able to win the AFC East for the first time since 2008, when they also wore jerseys like this. This was probably from 2008, but we shall see. If you're a Dolphins fan, what did you think? Did you think that the Dolphins had the most complete game of the season, much like I did? Do you have any complaints? I don't know what you'd really complain about today, but leave it in the comments section down below. Did you watch the Bills and Vikings game? Because I was going to record right after, and I just got sucked into that game. It was so good, and obviously for the Dolphins, it really, really was good. So the NFL is in a great place right now, and I hope you're all enjoying it as much as I am. If you like this, please subscribe to the channel. We cover all the major sports. We got the World Cup coming up. We're going to cover that very heavily. We have a new preview of that coming this week. We also cover the Saints as well as the Dolphins, so we have a Bayou breakdown. We're going to do similar things. So it's me with my friend Jack, who also covers the NBA for us on here, and we cover hockey, of course. So please stick around if you like sports. We really appreciate you checking out this video, and we will see you in the next one.